shaking them up. Whoa. Who wants to smoke? Who wants to smoke? Who wants to smoke? Who wants to smoke? Temperatures going up, the heat is rising, scholars are showing up, audience vibing. We on a mission, competition is the only desire. Whose information will be facing the immersive fire? So what's up, stand up, can you walk through hell? So tough, too tough for the weak, soft shell. Set the fire, fan the flame, smoke is rising in plumes. While the inexperienced debater starts to choke on the fumes. Bring your science, bring your wisdom, even bring us your religion. If you cannot stand the heat, then please don't come in the Paul's kitchen. It's a session, learn a lesson, fight and overcome your fear. Who will be the best debates by the time all the smoke clears? Who wants to smoke? Who wants to smoke? Who wants to smoke? Who wants to smoke? Smoke session, smoke session, smoke session, smoke session, smoke smoke session. Smoke session. Smoke session. Yeah. You go with shaking them up. Whoa. Who wants to smoke? Who wants to smoke? Who wants to smoke? Who wants to smoke? Temperatures going up, the heat is rising, scholars are showing up, audience vibing. We on a mission, competition is the only desire. Whose information will be facing the immersive fire? So what's up, stand up, can you walk through hell? So tough, too tough for the weak, soft shell. Set the fire, fan the flame, smoke is rising in plumes. While the inexperienced debater starts to choke on the fumes. Bring your science, bring your wisdom, even bring us your religion. If you cannot stand the heat, then please don't come in the Paul's kitchen. It's a session, learn a lesson, fight and overcome your fear. Who will be the best debates by the time all the smoke clears? Who wants to smoke? Who wants to smoke? Who wants to smoke? Who wants to smoke? Smoke session, smoke session, smoke session, smoke session, smoke smoke session. Smoke session. Smoke session.
Black African Power. What's good? What's happening? A well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Woo-hoo-wee, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's God killing the house. And I come to do what I got to do, and I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm standing tall. I'm standing strong. Hey, man, y'all know what it is, man. Bobby banging this bitch, man. What's good, family, man? Let the people get up in the house, man. Let's get it going. I'm always coming with that exclusive shit. Y'all know what it is, man. Those topics that y'all swear. Boy, that's white. I know. I'm just as black as y'all, man. And I'm black and I'm proud, man. Don't hate me, hate the game. The game made me. What's good, family, man? I want y'all to welcome. I want to welcome y'all to the family of channels, man. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, right, to all the channels on sa.neter TV, you know what I'm saying, institution. Y'all know what it is, man. Also, big up to the community skeptics. Y'all know what it is, man. That's what we doing over there, man. And the pseudo killers, man. So if y'all ain't subscribed to the pseudo killers and the community skeptics, man, you know, even if you adverse to it and can't handle it, go ahead and subscribe. One day your level may rise. One day, huh? Yeah, man. Let me get these things together, man, and get right to it. Because this is a good one for me. You often wonder, why the hell the God killer, Y'all find anything to why wear Ankh? Don't Ankh mean niggas didn't try. Let me use that word. Ninjas. But they didn't try everything on me for years. Funny. Questions be like, why you wear Ankh with a name like God Killer? And take y'all 2 seconds to look it up, man. Y'all know, like, get this work. African philosophy. Right? Theophile Banger. We're gonna use this today too. Big up the Reggie. Big up the Reggie. He went through and I was looking for some data points to bring y'all. Back to the Ankh. Y'all don't know the Ankh mean life, yo. That's it. Life. That's it. All right. It mean life. So this one I'm feeling like this. Most of y'all are hardworking. Some of y'all criminal. If you're a criminal, that don't mean you ain't hardworking, but it's against society. It will lock you up. But what we do understand about human beings, right? The most essential thing you have is your life. And how you navigate through life, how you position yourself in life as you get older, it matters, doesn't it? So some people have high-paying jobs. Some people have low-paying jobs. Some people just in it for the hustle. They just hustling to try to get by. Some people hustle harder and be there. Some people hustle and be here. It's the way the chips fall at times. But out of all the groups, out of everybody, whether you white, black, Chinese, Jamaican, whether you FBA, African Americans, man, I know anybody can get it, right? Anybody can get it. Mexicans can get it. Africans can get it. FBA can get it. Anybody can get it. Yeah, that's right. If y'all ain't dedicated. But the point I want to make is all the groups actually, they rely on this. They rely on keeping a life force in them, life going. And when they have babies, right, offspring, right, the offspring rely on the adults to provide the nourishment, the sustenance, the food, the clothing, the shelter. This is the fundamental thing of life. Amongst Homo sapiens sapiens, amongst any living organism, the foundation is life, right? And life sits on the foundation of what? Resources. How do I feed myself? Food. How do I acquire that? Does it take me all day long, a month to get food while the babies die? Or can I do it in a week? Can I get it to the point where I can just walk to the store? As long as I got the money and buy some nourishment. What about shelter? When it get cold outside, are we sheltered? What about bedding? You know, how have we arranged our lives to do what? To make sure we get food, clothing, and shelter. That's the most essential thing. And I always said your religion should be food, clothing, and shelter. I've been saying that from day one. But big up to everybody in the crowd, man. The people getting here, man. We're gonna get started, man. Man, I see y'all, man. I see y'all there. Cool out. What's up with you, man? What it do? Been eating is in the building all day. Yasman, what's up with you, man? Probably saying that wrong. Wise man. I'm gonna say why? Yeah, wise man. What's good? So we're gonna be cooking around here with hot grease because it ain't hard for us to do, man. Crazy, I see you. I see you. Who else we got? The Lick 50 Show. The Slick 50 Show. Yeah, Truth Seeking. He said something. What did he say? He said, Truth Seeking. He said, laugh out loud. That's an absurd topic, let alone discussion. Oh, man. Hey, man, let's get some more people in here, man. Look, hit the damn Cash App, too. I'm trying to figure out how the hell I get the Cash App running across the banner. Man, hit the daggone Cash App, man. Y'all can say what y'all want to say, man. It's definitely about food, clothing, and shelter around here, man. So we want to always make sure. Hold on. Yeah, we want to always make sure we support that. Yeah, because that's important, man. All right. Let me see if I can get that going. Yeah, we want to make sure we support that. Man, support those who support you. So, since we've already established, right, that food, clothing, and shelter is fundamental in any living organism. So now, what is the best way to get the food, clothing, and shelter? See, this is the foundation of what I'm about to talk about. What's the best way to get there? Is it through your religion? Maybe you can believe something. Is it through your non-belief? Is it a combination of things? What I say is just to study human history and don't hate me, hate the game. As I study Homo sapiens sapien, or just let me say this, as I study Homo sapiens, I don't say humans because when I say humans, there's about 12, 13 different species of humans. Y'all know my conversation already, okay? But as I study humans and human behavior, I did a lecture earlier on the channel, and it was about the Stone Age and how there wasn't a high God yet. Meaning human beings had not decided to put everything in the hands of a high God. There were a multiplicity of things that humans was venerating. Okay, early on we talked about jewelry, beads, grave sites. We worked our way there, and we also found that amongst archaic humans. You know, damn well archaic humans couldn't read text because there wasn't no text, there wasn't no writing yet, nor would they ever go to church because there wasn't no churches yet. Okay, when I say archaic human, I'm talking about Homo habiligensis, or Homo neanderthal, or Homo erectus, upright. Okay, I'm talking about those humans. And so if you think there to be a God, then you would think they'd be praying to God, now wouldn't you? Right. The point I was making is that you even find certain, when you look at baboons, they seem to be prostrate at times. Are they really praying? That's the real point. And so these early humans, the thing they was actually doing was laying a foundation for survivability, food, clothing, and shelter. That's what it was all based off of. And at certain time periods, they would appear, I would say appear, to be given special attention to certain things in nature. The record is very spotty, but as we watch the record, we see the things I showed you. Actually, people breaking down the okra, right? That's stone colored. They would break it down and make it to the point where they can start to draw. And I talked about that, so go back and look at that. The High God, the Stone Age. Go look at that. Very important. But what we didn't find them praying to a high God. And I'm going to tell you why. Stone Age is brutal for humans. It just is, man. Brutal. And in the Stone Age, those who could acquire food, clothing, and shelter on a regular occurrence stayed around long enough to have sex, to have babies. And if you could feed those babies could make it to the age of reproduction, thus carrying the genes on. So the most important thing for any living organism is to carry the genes forward. Not what God you prayed to, what God you didn't pray to, because that's an ongoing ever debate. The Muslim says Allah, the Christian says Jesus Christ, and they seem to be slightly confused because they don't know if Jesus Christ is God, or what God, or three gods in one. They don't know. And then the Hebrews, they don't seem to know exactly where they was. Like, was you in Egypt? I was, we wasn't, we was, can't prove it. Oh, yeah, yeah. Is it the God of the whole world? I mean, just a quick scanning and looking at geography, you can start to understand more things about religion. Matter of fact, you can start to understand that religion is actually a geographical identifier. It identifies where the story took place. Right? And once you identify where the story took place, then you identify the people telling the damn story. So it's not the biblical narrative or the Hebrew or the Torah. It's not a world story. Right? I know y'all like to say that. I know y'all want to say that, but I'm get my shirt right. It's not a world story. It's a geographical story that got expanded based off of colonialism. They got expanded based off of the Roman Empire. Okay? Roman Empire, colonialism, When they get these sails and they start these intercontinental voyages, then these religions start to spread for real. Okay, so that's important for us to understand. But my point is, if we go back to the Stone Age, what was the foundation, right? So there's the first time around 160,000 years when humans start to have cognitive thinking skills, where you can start to imagine things and bring things into fruition. And this is in the fossil record. They talked about it about 35,000 years ago. And they talked about it being in Europe. And then they figured out, nope, we found some spots older, 80,000 in Africa, 160,000 in South Africa, right? So what is the foundation of that? And so the question is atheism white? That's crazy. Matter of fact, most of y'all watching the broadcast, y'all into a whole different type of spiritual system. Most of y'all not Christians. Most of y'all not Muslims. And most of y'all are not Hebrews. And even if you say you're Hebrew, you make up one thing, you make it up, and it's called the Black Hebrew. So they made that up. So if I was to say, let me give you the 3 tiers. Judaism being the foundation, because out of Judaism, you get Christianity. Christianity was a ancient Jewish sect, right? Meaning Jesus and all them was Hebrews, okay? Or Israelites, right? And out of Christianity comes what? Islam. So it's a building, and I just laid the 3 foundations: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, right? We can identify the geographical reasons. This does not at no point apply to the whole world until later on when humans start to know about the whole world. So the mistake is to apply these religions to the whole world when they had no idea of what the whole world was. You got to know what the whole world is before you can apply something to the whole world. They didn't know. So the stories are always talking about their worlds. Later on, colonialism, whether it be Arab expansion was colonialism, the Portuguese, European colonialism, the Roman Empire, they expanded into the forests of Britannica, right? And they brought their Christianity with them. Prior to that, they brought their Roman religion with them. And this is where we take off at. So if you deal with Rome, then you got to deal with Greece. And then we understand Greece had relationship with the Nile Valley because they conquered the Nile Valley. Give or take. They claimed that the Greeks came in to get I believe to be the Persians, right, out of there, whatever. So we know we got invading forces coming into the Nile Valley. And I want to in particular deal with Greece because this idea of atheism is claimed to have started in Greece. But let's see what it was based off of, right? So if you get Diop's book, most y'all don't even read, most y'all not reading none of this, right? And then if I pick up a Diop's book or Theophile Banger book, you'll call me a damn Pan-African. No, I'm just a damn person reading literature, all right? So we understand the words. This is Civilization of Barbarism, an authentic anthropology. I always talk about anthropology, right? So in this book right here, talks about atheism. But not the way you would think it is. On page 335. Now, I know I always want to give myself about like 5 minutes reading overall, because after that, y'all falling apart. So he says science was in the hands and developed by a body in service to the state. So he's saying the state was developing science in Egypt, right? With which it was born. The clergy, the source of science in Egypt, and the state. So he said it was the clergy. He's basically saying the priesthood was trying to put together these ideas. Now he used the word science here, but for those who are at the next level, you recognize that actually it's not full-blown science yet, and we'll definitely get into that. But the emphasis here is when he talked about atheism. He says that its service can therefore not enter into conflict with the state in sake of science or anti-intellectualism or sectarianism. It say, as in continental Greece. So he's basically saying that the Egyptian priests could practice science, okay? But it was not in conflict with the damn state as it was in continental Greece, okay? We know it was in conflict, and I'll get in this, brings us right to atheism. Let me finish. In continental Greece, it says in Athens, in Athens, where Anaxagoras, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle were all sentenced to death, or almost were, because they taught scientific ideas received from Egypt and well ahead of the local institutions. They say while the Egyptian religion engendered science, the Athenian religious traditions protected itself from science of the Egyptian origin. And this very special situation explains the differences in the compared evolution of Egyptian and Greek societies. Kind of overwhooped a little bit, but it's a general theme here he's trying to say. So let's go right to the history of atheism. All right. You say, well, that's white. Yeah. Some of you say the Greeks are white, some of you say the Greeks are black. Greeks actually maintain governance in the Mediterranean, so they ain't exactly white. Okay. And I tread lightly on these terms, but I do it for placeholders so you can base it on what I'm talking about. So they, the Greeks range olive color, you know what I'm saying? Not as dark as the Egyptians would have been, but not as light as somebody from Northern Europe. Okay? They ain't that pale. All right, but they range somewhere in between. And the reason they range in skin color because of the radiation. The UVA rays, that's radiation, all right? And needing protection from the harmful UVA rays. So if we look at the Mediterranean, it fits comfortably in zone 2. Now, if you've been following for years, you know what zone 2 is. We're talking about the skin map. Look it up. Type in skin color map. You'll see different zones there. And so Greeks, they're not going to be super pale because they're in an environment, zone 2, where there's bombardment of radiation, or what you would say the sun rays. And they need to have protection from the harmful UVA rays. This is the only reason we have this skin, is to protect us, right? The female variety needs to protect the folic acid, which is a vitamin, which helps it helps cells to divide. Right? This vitamin actually feeds the cells, or helps them to divide. You need this crucial vitamin so the cells can divide. All right, and if that process is broken down, you start to have birth defects in the children, which mean the children would not be valuable offspring. When I'm talking about valuable offspring, I'm saying a valuable offspring is not somebody that can fight better or kick better or talk better, somebody that can reproduce and send the genes to the next generation. The only way you can get genes from one organism to another is through sex when we're talking about humans. Okay? And so this protection, which is afforded by darker skin, would have had to been in the Mediterranean for that. There we go. Okay, so let's get to atheism, right? Most people claim that to be white people, but most y'all listening do not believe in Jesus, do not believe in Allah, and do not believe in Yahweh Elohim at all. So we can safely say you're atheistic towards that, meaning you have no belief in that, because that's all it is. It's a stance, right? It's not a cult. It's not a religion. You're simply saying, I don't believe that. I don't know why y'all don't get that. And saying I don't believe that, how the hell that became a white thing is amazing. So if we go to the history of atheism, okay? All right. I want to go to the history of atheism, right? And you got classic Greece and Rome in the Middle Ages. Let's see what they're saying in the Middle Ages. Let's see. Oh, man. Hold on. Oh, let's see. So in Greece, of course, they believe that the gods control all aspects of human existence, including health and disease. So this was a problem. I don't know why most ancient societies thought the gods had something to do with the sickness. You know what I'm saying? In Africa, somebody got sick, they felt like it was and I might not be using the proper words, but they felt like it was like an omen. They felt like something was wrong, so they needed to feed the gods. Ancient societies wanted to feed the gods when they felt like something wrong. If a volcano exploded, they didn't have the natural explanation of why the hell the earth has erupted and spewed fire and destroyed the villages and townships. So they felt like the gods was angry. Maybe we did the ceremonies wrong. Okay. All right. So they thought disease had something to do with the gods. So let me come here. Classic Rome. Now, I want y'all to understand the point I'm about to make here. Very important. First of all, you can also find atheism and Jainism. Okay, that ain't got nothing to do with white people. Buddhism, they call these atheistic religions. Okay, I'm gonna say this. Kavaka. Am I saying that right? Hold on, let me get this right for y'all. Kavaka. I believe that's it. All right. Karvaka. Okay, so in Karvaka, that's in India. All right, these system is based off of non-beliefs. So right there, we start to correct. Okay, when we start to say that, and this in BC times. Okay, so we need to stop the white people stuff. Maybe not believe in a particular God. Maybe it might just boil down to individuals and how they feel and how they think. It's just like today. Why y'all don't believe in Jesus Christ? Why don't y'all believe in Muhammad? Because y'all think it to be ridiculous at times, right? But then some of your comrades do. Okay? So why wouldn't you think that people who look like you, talk like you, wouldn't do the same thing? They would. So let's read this. All right. So I talked about the Indian philosophy and how it gave rise to atheistic religion. Now, how do I know this be? Am I just saying this? Let me share the screen real fast. Share the screen and show you. Read the page, read the wiki entry history of atheism. Okay. Charlie, where's my sweatshirt? Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me get my sweatshirt. Let me put this up for y'all though. If I can find this for you. All right, primitive meant godless, was the first used term, roughly meaning ungodly. So they was first saying, when they was applying the term early on, they was saying he was ungodly. He was impious. See, it was actually a pejorative. It was a very negative connotation to it. It still carries some of them things today, specifically in the African American community. Yeah, let's get that. I'm glad they put that. Let's make that point. Here, y'all can look at it when it start off. Let me get my sweatshirt. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, so y'all clearly can see that. All right. Clearly. Empires, it says it was first used as a term to censor roughly meaning ungodly and pious. In the 5th century BCE, the word began to indicate more deliberate and active godliness in the sense of serving relations with the gods or denying the gods. All right. The term then came to be applied against those who impiously denied and disrespected the local gods. Even if, watch this, even if believed in other gods. So, like I said, the fact that y'all believe in other gods, that's going to make you an atheist in this modern sense. So all terms have an evolution to it. But it first started out with you being impious and godly. It was a pejorative, right? It say the term found frequent use in debate between early Christians and Hellenists, with each side attributing it in a pejorative sense. See that? I'll try to tell you. Oh man, let me get it. Right here, in a pejorative sense. Like I said, it was a pejorative. See? Negative. A slang, a slur. All right? So it started off as a slur. Anybody, okay, that they felt was talking against the gods, they would call you an atheist. And they would actually murder you for it. Very barbaric. Or enslave you or put you out the daggone, throw him out the kingdom. He doesn't believe in the state-sponsored gods. Yeah. All right. So now we got a firm on it now. So we know this ain't no damn religion. It started off as damn pejorative. Okay. It ended up being the person who just does not believe in God. Because you can believe in other things and not believe in God. So you can be an atheist and not believe in God, like y'all don't. Most y'all don't believe in God. Y'all say it's the white man God. Okay. But that's the God though, right? You say God, good. That's of Germanic origins, Germanic tribes. In the forces of in the forces of Europe. God, good, mighty men. That's what it is. We can go back and look up the term, but that's essentially whenever you're saying God, you're actually using a rendition brought to you by colonial powers. Let's move forward real quick here. All right. Indian philosophy, atheism in Hinduism. All right. Just want to show y'all that in the East, okay, contemplative life not centered. Not centered on what? The idea of deities began in the 6th century BCE with the rise of Jainism, Buddhism, and various sects of Hinduism in India and Taoism in China. All right, so we got to get the white people thing about it there. That's the 6th century BCE, roughly around the same time that you'll find it. You simply not believing now in the gods. All right, y'all can read this whole thing. All right, definitely. Now, this is what's important to us right now. So I've dispelled the myth of not believing being a white person thing. Okay? Now, if you say not believing is a white person thing, you're going to give up a whole body of knowledge willfully. So in Western classical antiquity, theism, right? Theism, the fundamental belief that supported the legitimacy of the state. Once again, in Western classical antiquity, theism, that's the gods, was the fundamental belief that supported the legitimacy of the state. The palace later in Roman Empire. It said historically, any person who did not believe in any deity supported by the state was fair game of accusation of atheism. A capital crime. So look, so basically you was forced into it. So now we see it's not that it's a white thing, because I showed you about the Hindu in China, right? It's actually a thing that's actually a crime. So then they force you into believing. It's a charges of atheism, meaning any aversion of religion. I mean, don't change it. Got to stay there because it's supported by the state, and you know we're right. Well, often used similarly to charges of heresy and impiety. So in the Christianity, they say you're a heresy. It's heresy. Heresy. Like you're going against the customs. Let me see. Who they call a heretic? I can't even think of his name when he argued. He argued for the divinity of Christ at the Nicene Council. Arius. He had different ideas. He said there's one God. Go imagine that. And he said, but God created Jesus in the beginning with God. They say, no. Jesus is not a created figure. So that was the daggone argument at 325, which most of y'all get wrong. And it had nothing to do with the creation of the Bible or Jesus' mother becoming a virgin. None of that nonsense that we learned in them I call them scamamentaries. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But it was heresy to say that. And so he was charged with that. It's also a political tool to eliminate your enemies. So it was also a way to eliminate your damn enemies. That's how you do it. Oh, he's against the gods. You're my enemy, and just bring up a wild charge. So we in the origins of what atheism was. It was those who were standing up against the government because they were saying, no, I'm not into that. I'm not rocking with that. I have other ideas that seem to explain things that can what, y'all? That can help us get better food, clothing, and shelter. See, that's what we basing this on. You got to understand what the foundation is. Because once you start to understand the natural world, now you're best fit to get what? Food, clothing, shelter. The whole United States was based off the fact where we just not going to let the state. We're going to separate church from state because y'all mess it up. The same thing with any communities in Africa and anywhere else. It comes to a certain point where you got to rely on empirical thought. Okay, so here we go. Now, early Christians were widely reviled as atheists because they did not participate in the cults of Greco-Roman gods. During the Roman Empire, Christians were executed for their rejection of the pagan deities in general, okay, and the empirical cult of ancient Rome in particular. Watch this. It say when Christianity became the Roman state religion under Theodosius I in 380, heresy became a punishable offense. Religion is wild, man. I'm just trying to tell you, bro. So when you ask yourself, is atheism white? Obviously not. These people that were called atheists were actually the rebels. That's why y'all don't understand me half the damn time. Y'all think it's crazy, right? Y'all don't understand me half the time. Now, I'm not saying all of y'all, but I know particular over here in this particular pattern, you don't understand. You're like, what the hell is he talking? You bringing the white man science. No, I'm not. I'm just a rebel for real. Right? It's about having heart to go against what somebody told you that don't match up. It's not in line with getting food, clothing, and shelter. All right, so we move a little bit philosophy. So basic. Watch this. The roots of Western philosophy began in Greek world in the 6th century BCE. The first Hellenistic philosophers were not atheists. See, remember I said it was the pejorative back then. Negative, they were trying to set you up to kill you. Your enemies would say you was atheist to kill you. But they attempted, but this is what the philosophers was trying to do. Now y'all starting to catch on where I'm getting to, right? It say, but they attempted to explain the world in terms of processes of nature instead of mythological accounts. This is where the damn rubber meets the road. But they attempted. Who? These Greek philosophers. They attempted to explain the world in terms of processes of the natural world instead of mythological accounts. Thus, lightning was the result of wind breaking out of parted clouds, and earthquakes occurred when the earth considerably altered by heating and cooling. You say the early philosophers often criticized traditional religious notions. Anaxagoras in the 6th century famously said, watch this, if cows and horses had hands, then the horses would draw the form of the gods like horses, and cows like cows, because humans make the gods look like them. So if horses and cows would do it, they make them look like them. Another philosopher, Anaxagoras, in the 5th century, claimed that the sun was a fiery mass, larger than the Peloponnese. A charge of impiety was brought against him. So this man was trying to explain what the damn sun was, and he brought a charge against him, and he was forced to flee Athens. And see, this can go on and on and on and on and on. See, this is the point I'm making here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm making these points right here. This is what we talking about. We're going to get a chance to throw that link out there, though. King J reacts. Listen, man, that's my point. That when people was trying to bring empirical data or pre-scientific inquiry to the table, they say, yo, you going against the gods. They was fighting against the ignorance of early man. And so we go to the history of, let's move to the history of science. And since science is the white man thing, which is ridiculous to me, I don't even know why you say it. I don't know why they say it. So now we have the history of science, right? Now we understand that science, the history of it actually starts early in the game in ancient societies. And a lot of it came in opposition or a different way of seeing it than what they seen in their mythology and what they seen in the gods or the god or the goddesses. It came in opposition to that. Because people was trying to look at it a different way, because at the end of the day, you got to get the food, clothing, and shelter, and empirical data is best fit for that. So it goes on to say that the history of science covers the development of science in ancient times to the present. See? Ancient times to the present. It encompasses all three major branches of science: natural science, social, and formal. Proto-science, we might get into proto-science a little bit. Early science and natural philosophy such as alchemy and astrology that existed during the Bronze Age, Iron Age, and classical antiquity and the Middle Ages, and declined during the early modern period. So it declined after the establishment of the formal disciplines of science in the Age of Enlightenment. Let me get you right here. A lot of y'all is talking about this now. Alchemy, the ancient branch of natural philosophy, philosophical, and proto-scientific traditions that was historically practiced in China, India, and the Muslim world. Okay. All right. It's a Muslim world, Europe. It's in its Western form, alchemy is first attested in a number of pseudographical texts written in Greco-Roman Egypt during the 1st century. I believe it's first. I ain't gonna put that on, right? But alchemy and astrology is now pseudoscience. See? Astrology, a range of divinatory practices recognized as pseudoscientific since the 18th century. Okay? But it was early proto. They was trying to get it right. It was part of philosophy, alchemy, right? So if you talking about alchemy right now and astrology right now, you're out the game. You're stuck. Remember I talked about life being a damn video game, in particular science is a video game. Nature forces you to learn the step where she unlocked the next set of mysteries, because that's the mystery. What's the mystery, y'all? Understanding the gods, is that the mystery? No. Understanding where the hell you live out on planet Earth is the damn mystery. And so alchemy and astrology predates chemistry. And somewhere astrology, I believe, is created at the same time in Babylonia and Mesopotamia. But we do not have astrology early on in the Nile Valley. I'm going to say it again, man. We do not have astrology early on. The Greeks brought astrology coming from Mesopotamia. They bring that system of divinatory to the Nile Valley. They had proto-astronomy in the Nile Valley, not the Playa. But the alchemy thing later on ended up being chemistry as they started to figure it out and make it right and stop having so much beliefs attached to it and empirical data. It moved to chemistry. And so we got it. That existed during the Middle Classical Iron Age. I got you early period science. And so if we move right here, let's see. So we can no longer call science the white man thing. You sure as hell should never call not believing a white man thing, which is crazy. It's actually a human endeavor. The earliest roots of scientific thinking, it's a way of thinking, right? It's a way of thinking empirically. It's a way of thinking in practice can be traced to ancient Egypt. That's in the Nile Valley. And Mesopotamia, the 3rd and 2nd millennium BCE. It say these civilizations' contributions to mathematics, astrology, see, astrology, which is different from astronomy, which is different from astrology. This is what y'all trying to do. NASA does astronomy. And so those most ancient ancestors in the Nile Valley, of course, they're not African American ancestors, but y'all would argue that till the daggone cows come home. So I don't feel like doing that. But I am telling you that they brought the world mathematics and astronomy and medicine. Influenced later. Who did they influence later? We don't gotta make this up. It ain't that nobody lied. The white man lying to us about our history. See, whenever you hear a person say the white man lied about our history, that's a red flag on the play. They're trying to trick you because all we got to do is go to the damn encyclopedia and the encyclopedia say different. At least these days, right? But I would even argue that it was always an attempt to bring forth those who did things prior to that because, like I said, it's foundational, meaning in medicine and science, people are standing on the shoulders, on the foundation of what came before that, regardless of where it's at. He goes on to say that, influenced later Greek natural philosophy of classical antiquity. Out of philosophy, you will get science. Wherein formal attempts were made to provide explanations of events in the physical world. Say the Greeks, remember they locked them up for that. They enslaved them for that. They say you're going against the gods. You're atheists. You're impious. You're godless. Because you're trying to attempt to explain natural events. You're trying to provide an explanation of events of this physical world, not through the gods, by natural causes. And so natural philosophy and classical antiquity, wherein formal attempts were made to provide explanations of events in the physical world based on natural causes. After the fall of the Western Empire, Rome fell, right? And went to a dark age. And of course, y'all think the dark age, meaning they was crawling on all fours in the cave. That's bull crap. That simply means they didn't transmit as much literature. They divide up the damn empire. And the barbarians or the people outside of Rome, the tribes outside of Rome, dramatic tribes, they couldn't actually administrate the daggone empire because the shit was vast and it was serious. And it took math and it took some elements of science. It took all that to run a damn empire. It was serious. So watch this. Watch how I move. After the fall of the Western Roman Empire, knowledge of Greek conception of world deteriorated in Latin-speaking Western Europe during the early centuries, 400 to 100 CE of the Middle Ages, but continued to thrive in the Greek-speaking Byzantine Empire, aided by translations of Greek texts. So where in the hell did they actually translate the Greek text at, y'all? They did it at the House of Wisdom amongst the Arabs in Baghdad. Okay? All right. So I talk about the translating houses where they taking ancient texts and they translating, because why are they translating? Because, man, books and knowledge is the standard. It's actually gold. Ain't nobody coming in and burning up no damn books. We rather translate them and see what they got. Aided by translations of the Greek text, Hellenistic worldview was preserved and absorbed into Arab-speaking Muslim world during the Islamic Golden Age. What is the Golden Age? Islamic Golden Age was a period of scientific, economic, and cultural flourishing in the history of Islam, traditionally dated from the 8th century to 13th century. At this point, you don't hear nothing about white people. White people ain't on the scene yet, because I know you ain't calling the Romans that. Yeah, maybe you could, but we call them Mediterranean, right? They're not here yet. They're not into it yet. Okay? They're just not. So when you say science is white people thing, you just doing too much and you having too much fun and you messing with our education at this point. So we see how the Roman Empire fell. Okay? Then we understand the House of Wisdom, translating houses, preserved it. Arab-speaking world. That's why they were so serious. The religion didn't make them serious, because the religion made them super serious. They still be ruling today, wouldn't they? If the religion made them top-notch on the world stage when it came to other people and other parties, then they still be in that spot. No, it was the golden age of science is when they were serious and when the empire expanded, because they had knowledge, y'all. Not knowledge of God, but knowledge of how the natural world worked. That's what made them serious. That was the foundation of that. And that foundation that came after people fighting against the damn gods, and thus they called them atheists. So the foundation of the intellectual world is always based on fighting against the damn gods when they try to put it up against you. You can say, I do believe, though. They don't care. You say, oh, it's talking about evolution. He's just pious. That's how y'all do it. It's what the believing brain does. It's what Homo symbolicus do. Funny. So we see this transition from the Romans to the Greeks to the Muslims. No white people yet, right? When we talk about the Portuguese and all that, the Spaniards, those who would circumnavigate the globe. Yeah, those who would later on, based off of dealing with these Muslims and Arabs, will start to build a foundation that will get you to that point. Watch this. It say the recovery and assimilation of Greek works and Islamic inquiries into, look, here we go. This is what you call a whiteboard. Into Western Europe from the 10th to 13th century, revived the learning of natural philosophy to the West. And so Western Europe got to give credit to the Muslims. And the Muslims got to give credit to the Greeks. And the Greeks is going to give credit to the Nile Valley in Mesopotamia. Y'all so busy worrying about the religious aspect of it and how Christianity comes. Y'all missed the real thing. Y'all missed the atheist part of it. Those who went against the state-sponsored religion is right here. Those who they said was impious, right? Because they was kicking us up. Y'all say, y'all swear I'm a barbarian at times. Y'all swear that. Oh, you just so, although I do belong to the Facebook group Barbarians. Big up to the damn pseudo killers, man. Whole group of dedicated people who understand this message right here. I ain't even looking at the chat because I know I'm getting taught in the chat. I refuse to look at that chat. No sirree, Bob Dixon. So where we at? So we right here where now the knowledge. So the Western Europe stands on the shoulders of the Islamic Golden Age, and the Muslims stand on the shoulders of the Hellenistic Greeks, and the Hellenistic Greeks stand on the shoulders of the ancient societies before them. AE, Africa, and Mesopotamia. Goes on to say traditions of early science were also developed in ancient India and separately in ancient China. The Chinese model having influenced Vietnam, Korea, Japan, and Western exploration. Also amongst the pre-Columbian peoples in Mesoamerica, Zotec civilization. Zatat, what's that? Zatat. Hold on, I'm not going to do that. Man, how can I say that? I don't know. Yeah. Fucking pronunciation God on y'all. That's how we're going to do. Zatat. Zapotec civilization established their first known traditions in astronomy and mathematics and producing a calendar. There you go. All right. There you go. See that? And I think this is important. Very important. Okay. Followed by civilizations such as the Maya. All right. That's the history of science. History of science say differently. So now let's go back into it a little bit. Let me show y'all something. All right. So remember we talked about alchemy, right? We want to talk about the history of chemistry, right? ancient history. Chemistry. Wine, beer, extracting chemical plants, medical perfume, all that is part of chemistry. Soap, make glass, alloys, bronze. All that got something to do with chemistry. All right? Y'all see it right here. I don't read all that. Then you got proto-science of chemistry and alchemy. Remember I talked about alchemy and how out of alchemy, right, comes chemistry. Okay, it's all right here, yo. The modern, it says, however, performing experiments and recording results, alchemists set the stage for modern chemistry. It set the stage. So you ain't supposed to be hollering about alchemy right now because the stage has already been set. That room has been unlocked, y'all. Let me say it again. The room has been unlocked. All right? You should be moving now to chemistry, teaching your kids about chemistry. If you holler, screaming, telling your kids, I want you to be an alchemist, then you know you have pseudorized your damn kids. They supposed to understand what role alchemy played and how now, why should I go to school to be a chemist? Because it is what it is, and it's the next level. That's what you should be telling your kids. Well, I ain't telling you the hell you should tell your kids. That's the hell I'm telling my kids. And y'all can do what y'all want to do. Have them running around being alchemists. Y'all can do that. All right. Here we go. And so let's get some of the early humans. Arguably, the first chemical reactions used in controlled manner was fire. I can tell you now, that's 80,000 years at Pinnacle Point, Africa. Bloomblas Cave, Pinnacle Point, where they got controlled use of fire. And they used the fire to reach, and they kept the fire at a certain temperature so they could melt certain rocks at such a way where it was easy to work with and manipulate to make other tools. If you got better tools, you got better hunting practices. If you got better hunting practices, you got more damn food. You got more food, you got more resources. And if you got more resources, you have more children because you can feed more. And now you can protect the clan and the tribe. And now you can grow. So the foundation of empirical thought has always been to go against the gods. That's why I'm always finding myself in this wild battle of the white man's science. You don't believe. Oh, the Africans, they always believe. That, my man, is definitely a trick. Because for some wild reason we have fed into, or the African American, the African are the most religious. No, the African on the continent is the most religious because at certain points in time, they got left back based off colonialism. It slowed down the process, man. They underdeveloped Africa, colonial powers. And I know Easy Band is somewhere in the damn bushes. I see you. I know you is trying to recolonize our damn brain. And so they say we the most religious and y'all fed into it. They say the African American is more Christ than Christ. And in our household, the standard ain't science. The standard is how well you believe. Has to be the standard in most African American houses. And I can say that. I didn't speak in absolutes. I said in most African American houses, they got a Bible. But most African American houses don't got a book on chemistry or anatomy. That's my proof. Wild proof, right? It says, arguably, the first chemical reaction used in controlled manner was fire. However, the millennium, fire was seen simply as a mystical force that could transform a substance into another, burning wood, boiling water, while producing heat and light. It says fire affected many aspects of early society. Yeah, that fire, that chemical reaction, not the gods. I'm just trying to show you. You believe in God, but that damn fire was real. Help cook your meat. Help keep you warm. Get cold as shit in the desert. 100 degrees on the daytime, freezing at night. You need some fire. This range from the simplest facets of everyday life, such as cooking, All right. I talk about heat and lighting. Talk about all that. All right. And end up at what? Metallurgy, glass production. You know, you gotta keep the fire at a certain temperature to start to get that iron. All right. So we're talking about chemistry, though, right? And so since y'all keep thinking that science is white, I'm gonna come to paint for you. Okra, historical use in culture. Remember I talked about Bloom-Bloss cave, right? These are some of the earliest processing plants they have of okra. All right, there you go. 100,000 years ago, okra processing workshop is found at Bloom-Bloss cave, South Africa. Indicate that early humans had elementary knowledge of mineral processing. Paintings drawn by early humans consisting of early humans mixing animal blood with other liquids found on cave walls also indicate small knowledge of chemistry. This occurs first in Africa. And then, we debate over the word alchemist, because chem means black, right? I don't want to get into that. It's the black soot that's produced through fire and other processes. This black soot. Wow. Okay, so now we moving right along, yo. We about to open up them damn lines. All right. For all y'all to claim that not believing is white, which is crazy. We're gonna come to the Rhine mathematical papyrus at the damn British Museum. Okay? It's in the Brooklyn Museum. All right. Look it up. It's one of the most well-known mathematical papyrus. Also with the Moscow papyrus. What does it say on the mathematical papyrus, y'all? Why in the hell am I reading this to you? Because there's something in here. Watch this. It says the Rhine papyrus is the larger but younger of the two. Talking about the Moscow. It says in the papyrus opening, this is the Egyptians writing this shit. Now Valley. Amos presents the papyrus as what? Giving accurate reckoning of inquiring into things and the knowledge of all things and mysteries and all secrets. I'm going to say this slow for y'all. In the papyrus opening paragraph, Ames presents the papyrus as, so this is the scribe thinking. He's trying to tell you what this papyrus is for. What is a papyrus? It's the damn mathematical papyrus. It's in the second intermediate period. Okay? What is he trying to say to you? Did he say accurate reckoning and inquiring of knowledge in all things through the gods? To know all things? No, that would have been Greece. Right? See, this statement right here is what Diop was basically trying to tell you. That this statement right here, your ass would have been grass in ancient Greece for saying that. Oh, now we starting to get to the point. Okay, I think we're getting it now. So statements that was considered impious and godlessness was actually written in a papyrus. Now we see why at times they couldn't stand the damn Egyptians, because they was making statements like this: accurate reckoning for inquiry into things and the knowledge of all things and mysteries and all secrets. How the hell do you reckon? You reckon with mathematics. What is math? Mathematics is not science, but mathematics is proof. At this early point in time, they ain't saying, hey, yo, the gods is the way to know everything. You know, in Christianity, that's what they say. Islam, Jew, they say that. In Greece, they were saying, boy, to know something, you got to go through the state-sponsored religion. If you say this statement right here, we're going to kill you, enslave you, or put you out. So in actuality, you start to see the trimmings of non-belief right here. Non-belief in the gods. And that seemed not to be a problem in ancient Egypt. Whereas though that was a problem in ancient Greece. And I read it earlier. Go back and rewind the damn thing. So accurate reckoning for inquiry. What's the inquiry? We're looking to understand the damn thing. How do you reckon? You reckon it through mathematical formula. This is what the Egyptians was using math for, to understand the world as proof. Science uses math as its proofs. And early in this particular time in the Nile Valley, so don't ever tell me that not believing in the gods, right, or doing something separate of the gods is white, because it's actually not. This would later on get into Greece, the math, and I showed you that process. So let's move on, because right now we definitely cooking. We're coming to the end. The last one, the history of the scientific method. What the hell is an ancient Egyptian Edwin Smith papyrus doing? There are a few exceptions. There are few explicit discussions of scientific methodology and surviving records from early cultures. The most that can be inferred about the approaches to undertaking science in this period stems from description of early investigations into nature. How in the hell do you investigate nature, y'all? Do you investigate nature through the gods? I know most of y'all think that. You think you can control the spiritual forces? I know. But that's not how you actually investigate nature, yo. I just told you. You reckon it through math. You investigate nature through math, yo. Science is the investigation of the natural world, to which math is the damn proof, having nothing to do with the gods. There are few explicit discussions of scientific methodologies and surviving records. Few of them, ain't a lot, from the early cultures. See, they wasn't there yet. It's a most that can be inferred about the approaches of undertaking science in this period stems from descriptions of early investigations into nature. In the surviving records, the Egyptian medical textbook, the Edwin Smith papyrus, 1600 BCE, and for the record, it was taken from a more older papyrus, maybe 2500 BCE. It said applies the following components: examinations, diagnosis, treatment, and prognosis to the treatment of disease. It says which displays strong parallels to the basic imperial method of science, and according to G.E.R. Lloyd, played a significant role in the development of this methodology. The Eber Papyrus, 1500 BCE, also contains evidence of traditional empiricism. Then you move on to Mesopotamia and Babylonian. Man, we cooking with hot grease, because when you come here again, as we switch over, we come here again, I'm about to open the lines up too. All right. Edwin Smith is the oldest known surgical papyrus treatise on trauma. All right. Documented, talking about on fractures, wounds, and military surgery. Yeah, that's practical, right? You ain't praying. God ain't gonna help that. Okay. It is unique amongst the surviving Egyptian medical papyrus. Why is it unique, y'all? Because it presents, look, here you go, a rational scientific approach to medicine in ancient Egypt, yo. And avoids prescribing magic. That's where y'all at. Y'all in that room. Y'all can't get out the room of magic. Magical thinking. Y'all can't get out that damn room. I'm gonna say it again, man. Y'all cannot get out the room of magic. You can't unlock it. You're too busy cussing me out. You too busy saying we monkeys and talking crazy about Charles. Oh, Charles Darwin, your God. Yeah, you locked in the magic room. Boom. Man, y'all love magic. We all tripping. But in ancient Egypt, in this time period, this particular scribe in this particular era, that don't apply to everybody. You already know. It's like right now, you're gonna have some people talking science and everybody else talking magic. So at this point, you had these science. I'm gonna call this a proto scientist or a medical doctor, at least that. They got enough sense to know, we need to have something that's we gotta be, now hold on, man. We got to push some shit together because people was down on that battlefield, man. We need to get this together, yo. Okay, we need to get away from the magic. The magic ain't working. The man bled to death. Got his foot got chopped off. We put the magic spells on it. We said ba ba boom, and he still died. We said the hell with that. We need to figure out. We need to start watching why this is happening, what we should do, and then we're gonna write it down when it works. It say this copy dates to the dynasty 1617, second intermediate period. It says, but look. The original may date from the Old Kingdom. So at least in the Old Kingdom, they was trying to, get the hell away from the magic, y'all. See? And if you getting away from the magic in Rome and in Greece, specifically, they called you a what? They called you an atheist. See? So I'm getting away from the magic, right? Belief is magical. I'm getting away from that, and I get all this damn flack over the last 20 years. I build teams upon teams that's dedicated to scientific inquiry, pseudo killers, community skeptics, the Mossy. I'm a raw squad. The culmination of that is the pseudo killers and the community skeptics. The culmination of it, unlocking rooms to get you to the point where you can just say, I'm just going all science show, no magic thinking at all. I don't give a damn. That's where we at. Now, if you've been following for years, you have unlocked rooms. Now you're sitting there saying, I understand what you're saying. If you ain't been paying attention, you think I'm out of my mind, you think I'm a nut, and I practice white man science. Oh, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's wild. I'm going to drop this link, man. I'm going to drop this link. We got 75,000 in the room, man. Listen, bro. At that time in history, the Egyptians, even though when you read, here you go, look. What's that say? I say the Atlas. Atlas of the human body, bro. And in the Atlas of the human body, we have this. And I know the whole world with digital. I know y'all are with digital. That's what we just talked about. So white people, or you proclaim to be white people, stand on the shoulders of Africans. You know why? Because it's a milestone. That's why. It's a milestone. You don't throw away milestones. Milestones. For millennium, humans have been trying to understand and treat every man of the body ailments. Here are a few examples of achievements in medical firsts along the way. It's a damn milestone. I'm trying to teach you about the milestones and you hollering, screaming at me like I'm wrong for it. It's a damn medical milestone when Charles Darwin come with the biological evolution, which is the foundation of biological evolution. It's a milestone. It's pushing humanity in this direction while y'all dragging me in this direction talking crazy. And then y'all can't even explain it. You need to double talk yourself to death. I'm going to drop the link now. We're going to drop the link. Let me see. How much time we got? Yeah, we got half an hour. Y'all got half an hour to talk crazy. Yeah. Look. Atheism, I'm going to put this. Look, atheism has historically been very uncommon in Africa, especially in traditions. Man, look, man, I don't know about all that, bro. It obviously wasn't called that. It obviously wasn't called atheism It was simply those going against the gods. So you trying to say in Africa, you ain't got nobody saying, that's crazy, that man over there dying, I'm going to close his womb this way, and I'm going to do it the same way every time it's going to work. Are you saying that didn't occur in Africa? Are you saying that 180,000 years ago, at 80,000 years ago, when people are controlling fire, that it wasn't somebody like, boom, 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 make the fire, boom, boom, boom. They be like, that shit ain't working. It's not working. We have some data here that says this is the way we start that. Are you saying that's not what occurred? Because that's what I'm talking about. They called that action that wasn't related to God atheism. It was a pejorative. It was being negative. Don't care what you think you're pulling up right now. Here go the link. Boom. So it's the medical milestones we're talking about. What is the first medical milestone? The Edwin Smith papyrus written in ancient Egypt. 1900 to 1600 BC is the earliest known medical literature. And if you read this right here, right, it simply says, the Edwin Smith written in ancient Egyptian script. I believe that's the heretic. It says 1900, 1600 is the earliest known medical literature consisting of 8 case histories. It describes the condition and diagnosis of treatment. Now watch this, in a rational and systematic way. This is the first time that was recorded history. I'm not saying it didn't happen somewhere else, but I'm saying, but for the first time in recorded history, this is when that particular thought process was found. Just like in 180,000, 60,000 years, when you first see cognitive thought, that doesn't mean that's the first place it happened. It means that's the first time they can actually tell in the daggone strata in the file record. That's what that's saying. Let's get that straight. We got the first caller. On your mind, what it do?
What's up? Peace. Peace to you, brother.
Peace. What's up?
Yeah, man. No, you hit it absolutely on the head. Actually, I was recently reading up on some philosophical work, and that was in fact the same reason that got Socrates killed. Going against preaching philosophy, getting towards understanding nature, and that prompted, in fact, Plato's allegory of the cave. When he wrote about the death of his teacher
Okay.
Socrates, how
Right.
people still stuck in that cave, thinking that they out the cave, but haven't seen not one bit of the light, and are just stuck. So you're absolutely right.
Okay, you hit it right on the nerve with the cave story. That's a deep story. That's serious,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Allegory of the cave from Plato, man. That explains perfectly the dichotomy that we have today with people, man.
Yeah, we you know what? I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to read that. That's serious. People in the cave think that's everything, right?
Yes, indeed.
Just like when the Hebrews come up with their little religion at around 500 BCE, when they started getting some literature together at around 200 BCE, they think that's the world. Am I correct?
Yep.
So they actually in the cave.
Yeah, they in the cave, man. They stuck, afraid to turn around, man. Was born and will die in the cave if they don't realize.
Right. It's correct. That's a good well, man. I appreciate that, man. I know you're always over there on the community skeptics too, man. I appreciate that support, bro. You know that.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
hmm So I think this lesson is important, okay, for us to understand where we at and where we sit. So if you sitting there in the cave talking about is out of his mind, if you making statements, well, the Africans didn't do that, then you still in the cave. Because I just showed you papyri showing you how they was trying to get out the damn cave. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, man. And the papyri that you showed, the Edwin Smith papyri, that was major influence on ancient Greek. You can see some of the earliest Greek authors that talk extensively about ancient Egypt and their academic mechanisms, how to get to research, like Dr. Ma'at was saying, uh, research methodology, trying to understand how to make things work, how it works or how it don't work, just pure scientific inquiry, like you said. And that is what influenced Herodotus. That's where the term history comes from. It's the Greek term for inquiry, to acquire about things, being pure, being critical about the things that you learn. And that's, yeah.
Good point. We got a Psalmod says, yes, it's very important to know that the Cometics were indeed skeptics. Yeah, and they don't go for everybody. But the people that needed to be skeptical were skeptical. Right here, sometimes it says something does not add up here. It says the ancient Egyptians were spooky. They believed in their gods, but yet still they were scientific than everyone. Okay, I like that. Let's
Yeah.
talk about that. It do add up. America is the most scientific nation on planet Earth. On the other hand, America is the most anti-scientific place on Earth. There you go. There you go. It wasn't. Listen, majority of the people in the Nile Valley, they wasn't temple centric like we think. They wasn't Nile centric. People lived in the deserts and the surrounding areas. A lot of people lived outside the Kemet. The Kemet is only that area where the dark soil is. Outside that, right, you had plenty of people, the yard people, the people on the outskirts, the country folk. So you had more country folks back then than you do today. Now you got bustling cities. Egypt was a bustling city too, but it was relatively small to the population outside of that. Okay, everybody they had different worships of, but that's my point. That the fight your spookism right here, because you homo symbolicus, the fight that it take a lot, man. That's why Negroes fight me right now, because it take a whole lot of understanding, reasoning, whole lot of punishment from your own people that look like you. It take a lot, man. So yes, the numbers is all. If right now we look at the numbers on atheism, it's this much. It's this just enough. That's right. Go ahead,
Yeah.
bro.
And you also gotta think about uh, the literacy rate in the ancient world too compared to today. Like it's very unfortunate to see how many people have this disdain towards information even today, and in a world where the literacy rate even in America is like 90% versus where if you go into like ancient Greece or ancient Judah and during the first century, man, Professor I forget her name, but her last name is Kitchen, Kathleen Kitchen. She wrote a book on ancient Palestine and the literacy rate. And in the rural areas, the more outskirts, and in some of these like smaller cities, um, the literacy rate was less than 1%.
Yeah,
So people believe because they hadn't had access to any type of other knowledge.
right. You gotta have the literacy level. Got to be. It's what's the literacy rate in America?
I'm
I would
not
say
I'm not sure. I'm assuming that is. I mean, of course, it's a lot higher than it was back then, but I
right. Of
can't.
course it is, but it ain't. It
Yeah,
ain't. It ain't like you think.
yeah. You might be right on. Yeah.
Mhm. So person says, "Well, Shaka and them atheists now. They wasn't actually atheists, but Shaka was definitely a skeptic. He was definitely skeptical, right? In some of his works, you'll see that he actually, he chopped off the heads of the priests, right? But there's no real, to be honest with you, man, there's no real documentation that said he did. You know what I mean? His whole very goddamn thing was based on he was the head priest. Go figure that. But I don't think he believed. That's my speculation. He ain't believe like everybody else, and he put his work was dedicated to building an army and to have that those fighting tools. That was his thing. He focused on that though. He definitely focused on the scientific aspect, the technology, right? He definitely that was his real focus. I'll say that. Then we got right here, we got Ramamata, I can't even say it. It says archaeological evidence shows that early humans practiced religious rituals tens of thousands of years ago.
No,
That's
no,
just a
no, no, no,
statement.
no.
Yeah, that's a statement.
Yeah,
The record
yeah.
don't necessarily say that. Yeah, they
But
don't know what
remember
that.
when they say religious, they are assuming because this is a time before recorded history, so you can't just automatically assume the purpose of these like burial practices.
Right, correct.
Before our recorded history, you're assuming.
Mhm. That's a fact. Definitely assuming. All right, so we got Easy Band. Before we get Easy Bands in here to get beat up, because he coming here to get beat up. He can't help himself. He got to get beat up. But man, first of all, man, y'all gotta hit the cash app, man. Seriously, like all jokes aside, y'all gotta show some love in that way, yo. You know what I'm saying? This is how I get it from this channel right here.
Yes, indeed.
So
Yes,
y'all
indeed.
gonna have to let me see what I got so far. Stop playing, man. $5, $10, $1,000,000, whatever it is, right? Somebody got to show some damn support. That we do. We got Mr. Brown. Appreciate you, bro. First love, man. Let's love that, Mr. Brown. Man, that's how you support. Man, you showing, right? You showing up, and I appreciate you, right? So,
Bro,
easy bands,
first love, man. Let's love it.
easy bands,
Yeah.
easy bands. What the hell do you want to say to this, easy man? Now, I can't imagine you saying something. Easy bands, come on, man. Go ahead. What's up?
Hey, man, take it easy on me, bro.
I am.
Don't beat me up too hard. But anyways, pause. But so take this in. So with the topic, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if like you're really like using the topic as, like something you're standing by, or you're just putting it out there like last time. But if we talk about the topic on its own, I'd have to say that atheism comes from white folk. It's white culture. It comes from the Greeks. According now with what you're talking about in terms of ancient Kemet, so are you saying, are you speculating that maybe there were some people within ancient Kemet that held to atheistic beliefs? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying the word itself comes from continental Greece, no doubt about it. Now, okay, so we're not going. That ain't the argument. The conversation is what caused them to call Socrates and Plato and them atheists? What was the thing that said, hey, yo, that statement you made is ungodly. That statement you made is adversive to the gods. You're going against the state-sponsored religion, right? And what I did was I went right to Nile Valley and I showed the Nile Valley, and I went to the Rhine Mathematical Papyrus, right? Okay, and I'm gonna show you in the Rhine Mathematical Papyrus, they make a statement here. They make a statement that would get their ass murdered. You get murdered. Edwin Smith, look, if you went to continental Greece, right, and said this, hold on, made this statement, hold on, they definitely gonna kill you up. Not the Edwin Smith, the Rhine. Yeah, the Rhine, here you go. Now, if you go to continental Greece and say, in the opening, if Ames said this in front of Greek officials, it say that accurate reckoning for inquiring into things and the knowledge of all things and mysteries and all secrets. If you said that, they'd be like, what? Nah, God, the gods is the way for understanding all things and all knowledge. Yo, they would actually lock this man up and call him an atheist. So I'm not saying the word, I'm saying the thought process is already here, because it's that thought process, right? That's the first attempt to separate. Watch this. The Edwin Smith Papyrus is the first attempt to separate from magic, bro. They didn't quite reach it. They didn't get there, but they was definitely saying, look, we cannot use magic. We got to use rational thought. When I say magic, that's just an ancient word for saying ritual, religious things, belief. That's all it is. Same thing. They try to make your religion halfway crook. They just practice on the same thing. Whether Jesus, whatever, is all magic. Moses, the staff is all magic, right? I'm simply saying, bro, that in those time periods, that's going to get you killed in Greece. And I read in Diop's work where he told you how in ancient Egypt, making a statement like that wouldn't get you killed.
Okay.
But in Greece, making statements like that would get you killed. He said it. Do I got ready to get easy bands?
No. I mean, let's just go with what you're saying, right? My point is that if we look at the definition of atheism, that what you just read from the papyrus does not match the definition of atheism at all. This basically is just somebody.
Read. We don't got to argue. Go ahead.
All right. Atheism is the rejection of an assertion that a deity exists. Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there.
Yeah.
The papyrus that you read does not say that at all.
Agreed.
At all.
Agreed.
I agree with what you're saying, that it introduced a new idea.
We got to freeze. That's what, look, atheism is the rejection and assertion that a deity exists. That's what it later on became. But let's go to continental Greece now. Now read the next one. In the narrower sense, go ahead.
Positive atheism is specifically the position that there are no deities.
Keep going.
So
Keep going.
again,
No, keep going. All right.
effectively taking the stance of a positive claim in regards to the existence of any god or goddess. The English term atheist was used at least as early as the 16th century, and atheistic ideas and their influence have a longer history.
So at this point, you say you're cooking, right?
I mean,
yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, listen, right now, where the term is now, right? I'm not saying it. I'm saying in continental Greece at the time when they created. Now we're gonna go to the origins of it. Go ahead. Now you're gonna see this the time periods that we talked about now, right now. Now you know terms evolve over time, correct?
Yep.
But it didn't start out with the early definition. I think that's important. Let's go to the primitive. Go ahead. Go.
So etymology. Right? We're talking about this. This doesn't. So if we're talking about etymology, it's where the word came from. It doesn't mean that that's the meaning of the actual word.
Right? I got you, bro. Hey, bro. Just keep reading, though. Go ahead. Let me see what you come. I'm gonna let you come and go.
In early ancient Greek, the adjective atheos, from the privative a whatever god, meant godless.
Privative a. That's like the A province. The A. The A in front of the word. Go ahead.
So the etymology itself means godless.
All right, keep going.
Okay, so it's still beating you up. All right, it was first used as a term of censure, roughly meaning ungodly or impious.
Stop right there. I want you to explain. Go ahead and teach him, easy man. Go ahead.
Yeah,
you teach. Go.
So it meant ungodly. So it meant something disconnected from God.
It was. Do it say first used, or am I tripping?
So it says it was first used as a term of censure, roughly meaning ungodly or impious.
Okay.
Right? Now hold on. So hold on, Ankh. One second.
Okay.
It was first used as roughly meaning ungodly. So that right there is already separating the person from God. So whatever the person's doing has got nothing to do with God. That's what they're saying. And then it also says,
hold on. So we do agree that it first meant ungodly.
Yes.
So what made a person ungodly? The damn statements out of their damn mouth that's not supporting the state-sponsored religion. So you can figure that out, right? Am I tripping?
Yeah, it could be a statement that doesn't. It could be a statement that somebody makes that basically shows that they don't believe in a God.
Gotcha.
Or it could be their acts that show that they don't believe in a God. So it could be a lot of things. But basically, the pivotal point is that God is involved in it. Now, when you separate yourself from God or the thought that the God exists, that's when you become ungodly.
Hold on, you move. No, we're gonna tell you when you came ungodly. It's all here. You teaching right now, Easy Band. You're not Easy Band. You're in the trap and the lock. You about to lock the gate on yourself. Go next. In the 5th century. No, it's all good. Listen, you teaching.
Hold on.
Nope. Read next. In the 5th.
Listen, but you're picking and choosing.
I'm not
like you're ignoring. You're ignoring what it says.
Easy Band, hold on. We're gonna do this real smooth. Like, listen, I have to concede that the form that it has evolved into now, you would, first of all, you wouldn't have had that word in Africa, so we got that right. So you're winning. You're up 2-1. Okay.
Where's your
next point? Hold on. Next point. You wasn't hearing the person say, "I don't believe in no God." Right? There's not even Shaka. You can't find it. So you up. Listen, you up 3 points, yo. But I ain't got the ball yet, yo. You cooking right now. I'm not. Listen, I like this. You teaching. Now we gotta go to the next sentence, yo.
All right, let me just bring it back right quick. I'll go to the next sentence.
I said you winning already. Why are you trying? Go ahead. Double down. Do all you got to do. Go.
All right. So under etymology, the first thing it says in early ancient Greek. Okay. So now we're talking about the Greek context, early ancient Greek context.
Wait, we ain't talking about Africa, bro.
I know, but I just want to clarify, right, before I go on. So it says in early ancient Greek, the adjective atheos meant godless. All right.
Right. So it means God. It don't mean you don't believe in God. It don't mean that. It means boy, you're godless.
Somebody who's godless, right? Somebody who doesn't believe in a God. Yeah. Somebody that doesn't have a God.
No, you made that up. It just say no. It means godless. That means a person like you or somebody else can say, "Boy, you godless."
What does that mean?
because it's based off of statements you make out your mouth. That if you just sit there and look at a person, they don't know if you. As soon as you open your mouth, they're gonna say, "Oh, what you just said." I'm saying you godless. Can we agree to that?
No.
So how do you know a person godless if they just looking at you? How would you know?
I know that a person is godless if they don't believe in God, and they.
But how do you know? No. You're right. But how do you know they don't believe in God?
By their actions. By their actions. And
all
what
right,
they
move
say.
on. Easy band, move on. Keep moving.
So okay. So it meant godless, and I'll get the definition for godless later if you want.
All right, go ahead,
and then it says it was first used as a term to censure, roughly meaning ungodly or impious. So impious basically means
it's a term of censor. What was they trying to censor? Easy band.
What were they trying to censure?
I'm going to score a bucket on you. I'm going to dunk on you. What was they trying to censor? I'm dunking. I'm starting at the free throw line. You now see the bottom of my damn feet. You're moving out the way. What was they trying to censor, Easy Band?
You tell me.
Nah, you don't know? Let me dunk on you. Boom! Right, they were trying to censor those that was talking about things that didn't require the gods. The people was making empirical statements in Greeks. And you fouled me when I dunked on you. So now I'm shooting my free throw.
Okay. So hold on.
Now,
so
hold on. No, I'm not generalizing. Listen, bro, do you know this is well documented? I said the score, we now 4-3.
It ain't no 4-3. How? When etymology, hold on. It literally says right there, right? In early ancient Greek, the adjective atheos meant godless, brother. How do you think? How are you catching up to 4-3 already? When
I dunked on you.
When the term itself, atheism, means no God, right? Somebody who doesn't.
Yeah, but it don't mean you don't believe in God at that point in time. Can we repeat that?
But
hold on.
And classical Greece is a context.
So hold on. The term itself, atheism, means somebody that doesn't believe in a God. All right. The etymology.
No, it don't. No, listen to me. Easy Band. Come on, bro. It don't mean that yet. You get it now because it transitioned to the early, like the age of enlightenment when it starts saying you don't believe in God. That's all the way then, yo. They don't got the records to say that man said he don't believe in God. You got to go like you might find like one person in the 4th century, but for the most part, that term we're using now is a modern rendition of atheism. Now we say I don't believe in God. That's new.
So was that a fallacy?
Want to say something, Ben?
No, I said. So is that a fallacy for us to impose our modern day concept of God
Yeah, that's stupid. No, I ain't gonna do that. Article ain't gonna let you do it. But, Easy Band, you trying to do it, but I'm telling you, in ancient Greece.
Let me read what ungodly means, the core definition. It means ungodly refers to a disposition or behavior that is irreverent towards God, rejects divine authority, or operates independently of God's moral will.
You just dagged yourself, Easy. You
just travel, bro.
So what's the point? How did I travel?
I got the ball back now. So now keep reading. Go ahead. In the 5th century,
the word began to indicate more deliberate and active godlessness in the sense of severing relations with the gods or denying the gods.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm back up.
So that's 400 BC? No, I told you. I said there are some people at 400 BCE that you find they start. I said that. I ain't tripping.
But it says or denying the gods, right? So it literally.
But it's like they're angry with the gods, not that they don't believe.
Brother, it's not saying that. It doesn't say that they're angry. It says that it basically means in the sense of
what's the word?
Or denying the gods, bro.
Denying the gods how? By believing that they don't exist?
Rejecting them, saying they don't exist. Brother, it's talking about rejecting the gods, saying denying them their authority, their power, their morals, etc. It's saying, hey, we're not playing by these rules. We don't identify these gods as our gods. We don't even accept them.
Right. You see
but that don't mean they didn't believe in other gods. They just weren't accepting those deities.
And that's why Christians were called atheists in the Roman Empire.
It says the gods. So it's talking about the gods in general.
Read the next sentence.
Talking about the Greek.
All right, so let's read the next sentence. The term asebus, which is a different term than atheos, asebus then came to be applied against those who impiously denied or disrespected the local gods, even
Right.
if they believed in other gods. So that's a different term you're talking about now.
Same term, brother.
Asebus is the same term as atheos?
You got to read how they spelling it.
Christians were called atheists
No, so
in
let's
the
read
Roman
how they
Empire.
spelling it.
Are they atheists? No, they
So
just
let's
don't
read out how they
believe
spell
in
it.
a specific
Atheos.
God.
Atheos. Atheos. It's
Yeah,
right there.
atheist. Sorry.
Brother,
Yeah,
brother,
That's
Asebos,
right
you got
now.
to look
Look
at,
now. And you got a verb and a noun. Come on, yo. I'm not teaching now. I'm not teaching English now.
right,
You
and
got
then
a verb.
look at the word, easy man, where it says from the primitive, and it says God, meant godless. So it's the same word, brother.
hold on. You
They
said
give
from
you
the
they give you the root. They give you the root.
No, these are two different words though, brother.
They're
King
not
J,
two different words, brother. I'm looking at it. If you start at the top, it says the adjective atheos from the primitive is spelled A plus O-E-O-S. If you look how it's spelled down there, it's the same thing. They get giving you the primitive root word of it.
brother,
It's the same
that's
word.
not
It means godly.
let
What
me
does it
ask
mean? What does God? What does asebos mean?
hold on. Let me just ask
No,
Ankh.
give me the definition of the word.
I will. I promise you I will. Ankh, is this the Ankh, is this the atheos? I don't know why that. Yeah, if you could remove that. Is the word atheos up here, right? After at the beginning of etymology. Is the word atheos over there the same as asebus down here?
Click on asebos where it says in the early Greek the adjective
No, let's just
atheos.
ask, brother.
Brother, read
Brother, it's no problem. I'm gonna answer you.
comprehension, brother. Read. It's telling you.
No, did y'all see it? I just clicked the word. Can y'all see this? Hold on.
Yeah, I'm
All
looking at it.
right,
Is
let me
it the
make
same
it.
word?
He
Now
tripping.
relax. Now
Is
relax.
it
We
the same
teach
word?
this class. Yo, relax. Yo, we good. Here you go. That's the word I clicked on right here. Etymology. It's an adjective. Pronounce. Hold on. It's a Greek adjective. Is an adjective, yo. It's ungodly, godless, unholy, sinful. There you go. That's it.
Okay, Ankh, my question was, is
This
it the
is
same
obviously
word
not
atheist?
them calling themselves this. This
Is it
is
the same
a
word?
term applied to them.
So
It's the
those
same word. Look. I mean, look. I mean, you know how you got a verb? Come on, bro. I know we ain't doing that.
no. So
He
it
don't
could
know what verbs mean, brother. Clearly.
no, brother. I'm saying it could be a synonym. It could be what is
It's
synonym?
not. A synonym is not. It's
Synonym.
not.
Yeah. It
But
could
even
be.
in words, even in words, you can lose. So hold on. Let's move.
My point
Let's
is
move.
it's not the same word, bro. That's all.
It don't gotta be the same. It's a verb, yo. Like you got cars and car, like you put the S on it. It's the way the Greeks now they
They
think.
interchangeable. The words are interchangeable. So move
Yes,
on, brother.
I'm gonna
it's
move. We're gonna listen. You want
It's
okay,
not the
stay
same
right.
word.
Listen, we can't get bogged down on that.
Okay, I agree.
'Cause you know I can put it in Chat GPT, but I don't feel like doing that right now. Let's keep
I
moving.
agree. But
All right.
as we can see, these are two different words. They might mean
Interchangeable words.
huh?
Well, then it kills your point then. If it's two different words, then this word right here, primitive. Look, alpha primitive, yo.
Mm-hmm.
It's the A. It's the A, yo. See the A, the prefix, the A.
Yep.
Atheos. Whatever it follows, that means you're against. I don't want to get into all that with you, but I want to stay right here. I
No,
want to keep
that's
the lecture right there.
not.
So you
I'm not
saying this
arguing.
word, God. Look. Look, adjective, atheos. It's an adjective, yo. It's an
I'm not
adjective. You know
arguing
what
that.
an adjective is?
Ankh, I'm not arguing that.
So you
I'm
saying
not
that
even
this word,
arguing.
hold on. Wait. You saying this word is different from this word, right?
I'm saying they're not the same word.
I know, but it's
They
still
mean the same thing. Damn, brother.
Hey,
okay. So listen.
King J,
So it's saying it's God. Hold on. So it's godless then.
King J, look,
Denying
Ankh,
the gods. It's right here.
why y'all not trying to hear me though?
We
I'm
hear
not
you, brother, but you're
Brother,
not making sense.
King J, what am I saying?
You're
you're saying
saying
the word. The term.
I'm saying that these words are interchangeable.
Hold on. We can
What am I
read.
saying? What am I
Hold
saying?
on. We'll do this. Listen, easy band. Let's just do this. It says the adjective atheos from the pervasive a province, right? It says meant godless.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, it was first used as a term of censor. What was they trying to censor, bro? We're going to get to it. Roughly meaning ungodly,
Yeah.
roughly impious. Then it says in the 5th century, the word began to indicate a more deliberate. So in early forms, it wasn't deliberate. Now it starts to have a more deliberate, indicate a more deliberate and active godliness. See, in the sense of severing relations with the gods or denying the gods.
Yeah.
The term abeists, it say, then
Atheists.
came to be applied against those who, look, impiously denied and disrespected the local gods. I'm not arguing that.
Yeah, simple.
Yeah, I'm not
We're
arguing
not
that
arguing
either.
that. We're
I'm not
not.
arguing that either.
Okay,
So
so then what the hell is you on?
let's
Let's
move
keep
on then.
going.
Let's
If
move on.
they believed in another gods, it say, even if they believe in other gods, it say the modern translation and classical text sometimes render atheos as atheistic, right? As an abstract noun. Okay. And look, we can just keep going, but the point is, we okay right now. Yeah, they called the early term found frequent use, right, in debate between early Christians like you.
Easy Band's looking for a tech. He's looking for an easy way out. Now he done stuck his foot in his mouth. Now he's trying to get up out of
Now
there.
let's
King
go
J.
easy
So
man.
King J,
Hold on.
the point that King J was trying to make was that they, even if they pray to other gods, that's what he was trying to make, I think. Right?
It's sometimes they do. Yeah, they can mean that too. But watch this. Let's go to the
But in
point.
terms of those two words, they're two different words. They might be related. They might be synonyms.
Okay, all right, but they mean the same. They have the same general meaning. They said that. Now look, let's go to classical Greece now. This is important. This is where I'm blowing you out. It was a good first quarter, bro. Now this is where you blown out.
Bro,
It says, go ahead, easy man. Go ahead, read that.
So in Western classical antiquity, theism was the fundamental belief that supported the legitimacy of the state, the polis, later the Roman Empire. So
okay, so hold on. So it's telling you that theism, or the belief in God was what, yo, supported the legitimacy. Like this is important, yo. Like, nigga, this is what we are legitimate because the gods say we are. Can we agree to that?
Yeah.
All right, now keep going. Now we go. Now I'm dealing with the term historically.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why I can apply the thought to the Nile Valley. Go ahead. Go.
Okay. So historically, and let's agree that this is after ancient, like the early ancient Greece. So classical Greece, historically, any person who did not believe in any deity supported by the state was fair game to accusations of atheism, a capital crime.
Okay. So we got it. Any person not believing in deity supported by the state. Right now, let's go.
Right.
Charges. Now let's deal with how they start to apply it, because now it's recorded. Go. Charges. Go ahead.
So, charges of atheism, meaning any subversion of religion, were often used similarly to charges of heresy and impiety as a political tool to eliminate enemies.
So, babe, you can just make shit up. If I'm your enemy, I can make shit up. I can say easy bands. Look, I'm a pagan, yo. You don't believe in a God. You don't believe in my pagan God. You be like, what? I ain't even said it. Yeah, we're gonna kill you anyway. I just make shit up about you. You say, wait a minute, I believe in Jesus Christ. No, bro. You see that? I just make that shit up. Keep going.
Okay, early Christians were widely reviled as atheists because they did not participate in cults of the Greco-Roman gods.
You see that? You see?
Yep.
So they first that early terms applied to Christians too, bro, which is wild, but that's what it is. We can't get away from that. Keep going.
So early, so where was it? All right, during the Roman Empire, Christians were executed for their rejection of pagan deities in general, and the imperial cult of ancient Rome in particular. When Christians became the Roman state religion under Theodosius the First in 380, heresy became a punishable offense.
All right, so it's clear right here that term can be applied any kind of damn way you want to. Don't mean that you're ungodly. It just means maybe I'm not dealing with your state-sponsored religion. You get it? Now, here's where this is important. Now let's deal with the philosophy part of it. This is where this is important. Go. It say the roots.
Yeah. So the roots of Western philosophy. All right. The roots of Western philosophy began in the Greek world. Okay. In the 6th century BCE. The first Hellenic philosophers were not atheists.
All right. That's my point, bro. They wasn't actually atheists, but since we have read, now our mind is open. We say they can apply that shit to anybody they want. Just say something that they think go against the God. I'm gonna call you atheist. These early philosophers, they wasn't even atheists, bro, but they said you are. But there's a reason why they said they was atheists. Keep going though, easy bang.
Okay, so, but they attempted to explain the world in terms of processes of nature instead of by mythological accounts.
Okay, So listen. That's why when I brought you to here, I brought you here on purpose, bro.
Yep.
I brought you right here. That's why I brought you here. Listen, here you go. Look, listen. Now read this. Read that line, Easy Bands. Go ahead.
In the papyrus opening paragraphs, Amos presents the papyrus as giving accurate reckoning for inquiring into things and the knowledge of all things, mysteries, and all secrets. He continues.
So dude ain't he just explained it. He's saying, if you really want to know about the world, if you want to know about all things, that's everything that he know of in this world, all the mysteries and all the secrets, he don't mention the gods though. He say what? Math, look, math. Here you go. He's telling you. And I'm saying if he was to say that in Greece, they say, what, boy, you're an atheist.
So
trying to explain something. You mean to tell me you can tell about the mystery in all things without using the gods? That's all I said, Easy Band. I said nothing else. I said their way of thinking would have been considered to be against the gods. That was my whole point there, bro. That's why I said that. Do you get it now?
I understand your point. I understand your point.
Now, hold on. I had no other point but that. That was important. And I got that from Diaz. But hold on. So keep going. This is important. So now the mathematical papyrus ain't talking about things mythological, is he?
Well, kinda. Because you have to do incantations and chants and utterances, and you still don't.
I'm talking about the math. Listen, I ain't talking about that. I'm saying that mathematical papyrus.
Well,
that
yeah, you still have
papyrus. Amos. He's saying if you want to know all things, you do proper reckoning through math. He's not talking about no gods right there at all.
Well, when he mentions the mystery system, he is right. He's talking about
he don't say no mystery. He said all. He's just saying mysteries. He said you use math. He don't say nothing else about no mystery system. He say the mysteries. I'm back to Easy Band. Wake up. Don't fall off into something else. Keep going. I know you're trying to figure out your way. I'm saying, come on, bro. Where you at?
Right,
you right here now.
So where are we going? Where we at? Mythological accounts. Thus, lightning was the result of wind breaking out and parting the clouds.
Okay, so keep going.
Earthquakes occurred when the earth is considerably altered by heating and cooling.
Keep going.
The early philosophers often criticized traditional religious notions. Xenophanes, 6th century BCE, famously said that if cows and horses had hands, then horses would draw the forms of gods like horses. So hold on. Then horses would draw the forms of gods like horses, and cows like cows. Another philosopher, Anaxagoras.
Go ahead.
Anaxagoras from 5th century BCE claimed the sun was a fiery mass larger than the Peloponnese. A charge of impiety was brought against him, and he was forced to flee Athens.
So he had to leave Athens. He's trying to tell you what the hell a sun is. He's trying to say it's made out of this. It's not made by gods. Keep going. The first fully materialistic is we talking about. Look. You see it?
Yeah. So the first fully materialistic philosophy was produced by the atomists Leucippus. Yeah, and Democritus, 5th century BCE, who attempted to explain the formation and development of the world in terms of the chance movements of atoms moving in infinite space.
Yeah, they ain't even talking about no damn gods. So they trying to do what the Egyptians was trying to do. They trying to stop trying to explain things through the gods and just understand through the natural world. And that do not mean that you don't believe in gods. You just explain something using the natural word and leaving out the gods. Now watch this. For political reasons, this is important, bro. Go.
So for political reasons, Socrates was accused of being atheist.
This is my point. So they accuse this man of being a damn, and you can read the trial, bro. Why did they accuse him? Go ahead, yo.
For refusing to acknowledge the gods recognized by the state. Then Athenian public associated Socrates 470 to 399 BCE, with the trends in pre-Socratic philosophy towards naturalistic inquiry and the rejection of divine explanation for phenomena.
That's all he was doing, bro.
Yeah.
They trying to get the hell out their way, yo. Yo, Homo sapiens sapien, get in their damn way. When you try to imply religious thought, when you try to say the gods did it, bro, the gods brought the flood, bro. It's the gods that flooded the damn thing because they mad. The Bible clearly tells you that God get mad and he bring a flood. Okay, they didn't say, whoa. Let's explain that maybe the earth tilted, more rain came. That's all they was doing, bro. Now
So let me ask you this then.
No, keep before you because you're trying to ask me something to throw us off. Because right now you getting it right now. That don't mean you agree, but you get the hell I was talking about. Keep going.
I do.
Go ahead.
Okay. So Aristophanes' comic play, The Clouds, performed in 423 BCE, portrayed Socrates as teaching his students the traditional Greek deities that the traditional Greek deities did not exist.
Mm-hmm.
Socrates was later tried and executed under the charge of not believing in the gods of the state and instead worshiping foreign gods. Socrates himself vehemently denied the charges of atheism at his trial. All the surviving sources about him indicate that he was a very devout man who prayed to the rising sun and believed that the oracle at Delphi spoke the word of Apollo.
See?
Go
ahead.
While only a few of the ancient Greco-Roman schools of philosophy were subject to accusations of atheism, there were some individual philosophers who espoused atheist views. The peripatetic philosopher Strato of Lampsacus did not believe in the existence of gods. Okay, so we have a real atheist there. And
now you say it's starting
back on top.
No, you're not, because I wasn't talking about this time. I told you it's going to end up getting to this point where we at today. I already told you that. You get it. I know where it ended up at. But my point was that it's based here. All right, so we good right there. All right. So I always appreciate you though, bro. It's always a good conversation for me, right? But do you got Diop's book? You got this?
No, I don't.
Wow, you don't. That's interesting.
Let me just say something that you probably like.
Go ahead. I might like it, I might not.
We'll talk. I just learned something right here. All right. So that's real right there, right?
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from. I understand your argument.
Yeah.
I'll put it to you like that. But at the same time, when I do get a chance, I want to rebuttal the whole thing.
You take your time whenever you want. You ain't got time today to do it. But you understand you want to rebuttal.
But I understand your argument.
Huh?
I said, but I understand your argument and what you're trying to teach us. I understand it.
So watch this. Now watch this. This Shigant, are you familiar with Shigant Diop?
Yep. But I understand your argument and what you're trying to teach us.
All right, go ahead, King J. Put the mute on it. This is what Diop says on page 335. Science in the hands and developed by the body of service to the state, with which it was born. The clergy, the source of science in Egypt. You understand that? Diop is saying that the clergy is actually the source of science in Egypt. You got that, right?
Yeah.
He says, and the state that it serves can therefore not enter into conflict for the sake of science or anti-intellectualism or sectarianism, as in continental Greece. So he's saying, they can't do what they did to the Greek philosophers in Egypt. You get that? Because it's the actual priest that's trying to get science. You get, hold on. Listen to what I'm saying, man.
I'm listening.
This is what I'm trying to tell you, bro.
I'm with you.
Okay. It says, in Athens, Anaxagoras, Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle were all sentenced to death, or almost were, because they taught scientific ideas received from Egypt and well ahead of the local institutions. It say, while Egyptian religion engendered science, Athenian religion tradition protected itself from science of the Egyptians' origin. It say, and this very situation explains the difference in the compared evolution of Egyptian and Greek societies. Do you get what that man is saying? He's
Yes, I
saying
do.
you can say the same things you said in Greece. They would call you an atheist, right? We know they didn't have the word atheist in Egypt, but they wouldn't mess with you for going against what the gods are saying. You get that? You get the point I'm making.
Yep.
Okay, and then I showed you the Edwin Smith papyrus where you see them even go as far as they have empirical data and they fight to separate it. It wasn't all separated yet because you can move on to the next page in the papyrus and they start talking about the gods and the spells, but they don't mix the spells in at that time. It'd be like you going to the doctor, right? And he writes your prescription, and then at the bottom of the prescription he says John 3:16. You get it? Right. When do they get to the point where they just write your prescription and don't put John 3:16 on that? I am telling you that at this early time in history, the Egyptians had cures, but they still had the daggone scripture at the bottom of it. They wasn't there yet. And I'm saying by the time you get to Greece, because remember I said everybody stay on top of each other? When you get to Greece, when they start saying, oh, you're an atheist, it was a pejorative. We read it. It said it was a pejorative. It was negative, right? It's a pejorative. Hold on. So the point I'm trying to make here is that one is a transition to get you to the point where you totally separate your science from your religion, and two, the Egyptians was on their way. And if the Greeks were in Egypt, they would look them in the face and say, you are an atheist. That's what I'm trying to say. It's simply because they were simply bringing ideas that was against the state-sponsored religion. That's all this shit started out with. Now, in modern times, y'all use it as a pejorative. Yeah, they use the word as a damn, but they do, bro. Right now, they use this shit as a pejorative, bro.
So Ankh, the term had a real meaning, right? But it was used unfairly to persecute people that, for whatever reason politically that you didn't like. And we read that, right? And we read that. So people would accuse
keep talking.
Yeah, so people would accuse you if they don't like you for whatever political reason. They would accuse you of being an atheist just to get you out of there. It doesn't mean that you were a real atheist, right? But
that's right. Not saying it.
Yeah, but even
there is no hold on. In the beginning, there was no real atheist. Whatever they said it was. Yo, that's the point.
It was. We
read that. It wasn't. Yo, they called the Greek philosophers atheists. They was like, man, that's not. We read it. They say, man, I believe they still killed him. Took him to trial. He said, I believed in God.
All right, man.
Right. You get my point, though. I'm saying what's real is speculative, bro.
No, Ankh.
It is, yo. It is, bro. It is.
So look, what you did was you went down to philosophy, et cetera, and you forgot everything you read before that.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't, because I said in historical times. It started out. No, it didn't. No, it started out. I'm not going back over that again. It started out as a pejorative, and I said it evolved to what it means today.
No, so from the start, it had that meaning.
No, it didn't, because we went to the origin of it, the origin of the damn word. That's what got you.
We did, so we could go back and see what the ancient Greek.
Hey, King J, didn't we already read what the origin of the word meant, yo?
Yeah, both of them.
So, all right, King J, let me ask King J. King J.
It simply meant ungodly, yo, and then it's up to you, the person calling me ungodly, to make up what the fuck you think. Huh?
It said godless.
I know. They said the Greek philosophers were godless, bro, which is crazy because it was a political maneuver because they were bringing ideas of innovation.
But we read that one of them was actually God. He didn't believe in the gods at all, any god.
All right, bro, that's one out of the okay. So now you're gonna take the one as the overall standard. Obviously, the standard wasn't that. The standard wasn't that. The standard was the most of the philosophers. They wasn't like, and it talked about the different schools. And most schools wasn't charged with that. That's the point. Did you forget that? Most of the Greek schools of philosophy wasn't charged with atheism, but they were still trying to bring ideas, right? That was to the natural world. Easy bands. But look, easy bands, I'm at this point. Look, man, why don't y'all hit the daggone Cash App, man? Show some dang love, man.
To be continued, Hey,
go ahead and refute. How you like to do? You say you like to refute it.
No, it's all good. To be continued on the next one because it's about to end, right? Thanks for bringing me up, man. It was a great presentation, and I actually learned something, right? So
yeah.
Respect.
And that's a good thing, bro. When we start to learn things, yo, we can then we start to have a better practical understanding, and you'll find out that I'm not the guy to say you can't believe in God and still understand science. I'm not that guy because that'd be ridiculous. What I will say is that when you start looking at the percentages of the scientists that believe, right, you're going to have maybe they'll say maybe 35% of the scientists believe in God. But then when you get to the higher sciences, you'll say the higher sciences, like the Royal College, the top level, you'll find, even if they do, you'll find like 3 to 4% of them, right? You say, well, damn, why do the 3-4% believe? And you'll ask them, what is it that they believe? And they don't believe in the walking on water. They don't believe things came out of nowhere. They'll simply say, well, I believe because I believe. What I will say is, what you believe, as long as you don't bring it to the science classroom and bring it to the lab, that's not a problem. You feel me? That's not an issue, and that's not a problem. You're on mute.
Yeah. So like I said, I just don't want to keep going back and forth. I understand.
You ain't going back and forth, easy, man. Can you mix your science with your religion?
What's that?
Can you mix your science with your religion and have good science?
Yeah.
Okay, right. That's the next one. I'll beat you up on that one next. Because I just showed you how they was trying to separate it. The world went to another level once they separated the two.
But you have to realize, Ankh, that the people that were initially entering into science were doing so because of their understanding that we live in an intelligent world. Like we believe that we have a creator. There's intelligence and information behind everything. So that way, if you have that belief, then you can start trying to decipher your environment around you. You can start trying to decipher why this happens, why that happens, and put A to Z. Put points together to come up with a scientific explanation. But if you don't believe in the creator, that means that everything is just random. Why would you even start to try to look for any science or try to figure anything out? Because there's no order.
You gotta eat, yo. You need to be able to find that water. You need to develop a system that we can transmit to the next generation of finding that water. And the shit gotta be empirical, or else you're dying. You gotta be able to how to get to the food source. How you hunt a daggone charging buffalo. You gotta develop a tool, and then you gotta develop a method of how you do it. Because too many people's getting ran over and killed. How do you plant crop that grow? You got crops you plant that didn't grow, some that did. Over time, you learn, wait, there's a method to doing this. We need to rotate the crops. All that's the science part. Because when you pray to the gods, God, please let it grow, and you kept planting in the same spot, all the nutrients got sucked out. No matter how many times you prayed, the crops wouldn't grow. Now people dying from starvation. You get it, bro? That's it.
Yeah, but you get my point too, right?
Yeah, I get your point. You have no point.
All right, man.
That is your point. Easy man actually has no point in this conversation. You're just part of the tree of learning, like all of us are. Easy man.
Let me just end with this. All right. So the topic that you came up with, basically, you crucified yourself with that one because atheism is a white man's culture. It comes from the white man, Greece. So I'll just end with that. But it was a pleasure, man, and thanks for bringing me up.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Are you denying that? Are you denying that? It didn't come from Greece?
No, it came from those who started to it came from those who started to question the gods having anything to do with their empirical data that they producing. So it did not start it started with early humans, bro. Early humans who decided to break it. Listen, it started with early humans that did empirical things. You act like so you basically saying an early man popped up with God.
So you're saying that anybody?
I asked you a question. I asked you a question. You saying an early man started with a God?
I'd say yes. We've always had, because if you look at us today, we're designed with the urge to want to believe in something greater than ourselves.
All right, that's our next conversation. The early man have an urge. Hey man, I appreciate everybody coming through, man. Hit the damn cash app, show some love, y'all.
All right, salute, peace and blessings,
man. Man, make sure y'all go ahead and like and subscribe, man, to the Community Skeptics, man, Credo Killers, man. Yeah.